Okay, let me bring in Dr. Trehan again. Dr. Trehan, there are global uncertainties, and particularly in the backdrop of 6 FTAs which have been signed in the last 1.5 years alone, the government is sending a message that despite the uncertainty in the White House, they are trying to buffer the Indian economy by looking at multiple other markets, 27 member European Union, for example, UK, EFTA, all that is the message. The question is the budget also signaling in those directions?
Most definitely.
Are we prepared? I mean, if these trade agreements and pacts may be a great idea, but is the Indian economy prepared for it? The industry prepared for it?
See, you have to look at it from the prism of what is necessary for India to do and what can be done from our relationship externally. So for India to be competitive in this world, our whole industriousness along with the development of industry has to go hand in hand, because we are competing with economies which are much more efficient today than we are right now, and unless we actually jump that or leapfrog into efficiency to the level, industriousness to the level in our blood, we'll never be able to compete. So the point basically comes is how well can we compete in the marketplace, the world marketplace, with goods that are manufactured to precision at a reasonable cost, because today cost is everything around the world. Okay. So one, we have to actually go up the ladder on our competitive scale. Second, we must exploit the strengths that we have. Okay, just to bring it home to healthcare, we have a huge strength in our ability to deliver the highest end of care available anywhere in the world at a fraction of the cost. But does the rest of the world know that? Or are they only expecting that what their impression of India is that it may not be up to the world standards? We need to let it be known. So it has 3 advantages. One is it establishes the standard for not only for the world but for India itself. Secondly, it is a big earner, because today we can go up the value chain and we can go up to $30 billion in the next 5 years. So it could be a significant earner, foreign exchange earner. Third, it reflects the soft power of India, because we are strongest, we have the language advantage, and but we have not exported healthcare to the countries that we should have. And I think the more encouragement we get to ride with the government, public sector and private sector together into these economies which can be where we can establish ourselves.
So Dr. Trehan, which country that you are looking for post these FTAs?
All of Africa.
All of Africa.
All of Southeast Asia. Healthcare is required everywhere, and the tragedy of the world is today that no country has been able to come up with an ideal healthcare system, no matter how much they spend or how small their population is. India's done leapfrogged by Ayushman. We have covered huge number of people of our population, and they can access healthcare anywhere.
Okay.
So Ayushman has been a very successful scheme, and the Prime Minister is to be credited with it. The basic thing is what we do for ourselves is applicable to 4 billion people around us. We just need to take it to them.
Okay, so what will it take for the industry to take it to them, Mr. Memani?
Healthcare, Dr. Trehan knows better than I do.
But moving away from healthcare then, other sectors.
Yeah, no, I would say the first is, I think, to answer your earlier question also, it's wrapped into that. Anything that ensures, you have to follow, when you are an investor or when you are looking at, selling goods outside, what do you look at? You look at the macroeconomic discipline of the country. The macroeconomic discipline, anyone looks at India, they will say only one trend. GDP growth is stable, fiscal deficit is coming down, borrowings are coming down. Second is the country reforming. The Prime Minister laid out in the last 5 months, post 15th August, they've done 350 reforms, and the reform express is continuing to grow. The third thing is, are they focusing on the new evolving sectors or not? So if you look at the new sectors, whether you look at nuclear, you look at data centers, you look at electronics manufacturing, you look at semiconductors, you look at rare earth, I mean, I can name sectors after sectors, GCCs where they've given some benefits. So right across, there are benefits, incentives which are give long-term nudges to ensure that that investment is happening. The fourth is to say, is there from a political standpoint, is the policy narrative consistent? The policy narrative, if you look at the last 6, 7 years, 8 years, the policy narrative have been very, very consistent. Fifth, is this country a trusted partner or not? So if you look at the number of FTAs that India is entering into, you know, at least, and the speed at which it is entering into and creating win-win propositions, it's very clear those countries want to do an FTA in India, India wants to do a FTA with them, and the number of countries, we have covered 33% of the economy, you add China and US, that's 80%. So you're balanced left with 15-20% of the global economies. You do Canada, you do some parts of Africa, we'll almost be there in terms of all major economies.
So can we then say that we don't need the need an FTA or a trade agreement with the US?
Saying, no, I'm not saying this is whether US is there or US is not there. I think US is one of the India's largest trading partners. We are democracies which relate to each other. Of course, it is good. Having an FTA in US is of course very, very important. But that is not the only economic narrative. There is more. There are issues India has. India has to ensure how what came out. India has to ensure how we are competitive from a manufacturing standpoint. How do we leverage the strength of our domestic economy? How do we ensure that it becomes easy to do business in India? How do we ensure that there is the friction that is there or the ease of doing business there is there? I think that comes. You know, we get better and better in that. So that's what India has to focus on. That's what we have to. That's what we are focusing on. If US happens, I think that's great. I don't think anyone is saying.
But you're opening newer economies, so you're preparing for it. Mr. Tyagarajan, come in essentially on this point that we are looking at the big picture here. All eyes are on this budget. All eyes were on the economic survey, which was tabled by Finance Minister and of course drafted by the Chief Economic Advisor. Direction is clear that it's 6.8 to 7.2% growth rate. How are we then? Which are the areas which have to be plugged in terms of reforms? And has the budget given enough indication of those reforms?
It has definitely given. What I wanted to, you asked a question, what it takes for you to be a part of the global supply chain. Now, first thing is the domestic market size should be larger. So you have to build scale. So if you look at the last budget, the income tax related or the GST, it is towards growing the consumption. Now, manufacturing sector has made enough investments, you will keep seeing employment rate going up. Third is, you cannot be China plus one with the dependence on China. So you have to fill in that component ecosystem. That budget takes care of it. How can be China plus one dependent on China? That is systematically being done. I will become self-reliant. Most important part is the research and development and innovation. That 1 lakh crore fund that has been set aside, that is going to fructify. Look at the national manufacturing policy. It emulates China and will do better than that. Directionally, it is providing everything that we want for to move there. And I will go on to say that I think the government has done its bit. It is for industry to now deliver.
Okay, so the government has done its bit, and is it strong enough to revive the animal spirit that we famously talk about, Mr. Ramchandani?
Sure, I think the industry is on a growth trajectory. People are making investments. The focus towards manufacturing is clearly visible. The emphasis on new age emerging sectors is also visible. People are looking at investing into semiconductors, into electronics, which I believe is a core area that will fuel growth. So to me, all the signals are right, and I think the triggers are there. So it all portends to a very positive outlook.
Okay, so the outlook is positive from the industry.
See, again,
so is there some part of the budget? Okay, let me put it this way, Dr. Nasir Hussain. Is there some aspect of the budget that the opposition feels is perhaps in the right direction, or there is some green area, or is it all red flags?
Maria, I think I'll again go back to basics. For me, people of the country are more important, masses are more important, have-nots are more important, people those are yearning to have something from the budget are more important for me. So again, I'll talk about those few things. Forget about the shiny things, hollow slogans, big talk and all. No real plan to control rising prices. No clear roadmap to protect the rupee. No strong relief packages for exporters. No guaranteed mass job creation program. No plan to raise wages. No serious middle class relief. No direct monthly expense relief. No firm farmer income protection, which I mentioned earlier. No system to stop payment delays to farmers and MSMEs. No full healthcare affordability. No major push to upgrade government school quality. No survival question for small businesses. No price control roadmap for essentials. No strict delivery tracking for welfare schemes. No accountability rule for unused budget money. No urban household relief plan. No clear unemployment support. No debt burden warning. No timeline guarantees. No delivery audit promise. And if you look at the...
there are long list of no's.
The long list of no's and the long list of no's for the mass of the people of this country. So maybe, see, every budget will have some shiny parts here and there. So
let's look at the no's here.
No's they have.
No, but that point that has been made by Nasir Hussain here was something that was told to me earlier today by the chairman of the 15th Finance Commission as well, Mr. N.K. Singh. He said that 8,000 crore was given to the urban cities for making of urban cities, and that was not utilized. So non-utilization of funds is a challenge as well.
No masses. Let me now respond. No masses, does it include people of Bihar or no? No, when he says no masses, does it include people of Mumbai or no? Does it include people of Delhi or no? So all the entire country is rallying behind Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. As India has faced challenges, global challenges, as the saying goes, when the going gets tough, Modi gets going. Okay. This, I think you will have to rewrite this slogan. You have to rewrite this slogan.
Okay.
This is the character of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. And when you talk about, let me talk about the positives. We have the highest public expenditure spending, highest infrastructure spending at 12.2 lakh crores. We have very low fiscal deficit. We have one of the lowest inflation rates in the country. I think we are spending all 7 strategic sectors which require India to really take a big, where India needs to make big growth, we are investing in those sectors. I think we are investing in manpower. We are investing in creating a new class of healthcare professionals.
Why is there
a new
total
class
difference
of finance
between the two of you?
Because the Prime Minister Modi looks everything from a positive spectrum. Opposition, unfortunately, looks at it through negative spectrum, and they have paid a price for it. We are happy about it.
Okay, a quick response from you, and then I bring in others.
You were speaking about the cuts in the spending or the allocation. Look at the financial performance in current year 2025-26. See, the RE 25-26 is lower than budget 25-26. See, revised revenue received lower by 78,000 crores. Revised net tax receipts lower by 1,62,000 crores. Total expenditure cut by 1,503 crores. Capital expenditure cut by 1,44,000 crores. Sectors where funds have been cut. Health 3,700 crores, education 7,000 crores, social welfare 10,000 crores, agriculture 7,000 crores, rural development 53,000 crores, urban development 39,000 crores, development of northeastern states about 1,500 crores, and on SC, ST over OBC 890 crores, 690 crores, 360 crores, and 2,000 crores. Jal Jeevan Mission 50,000 crores, PM Awas Yojana 3,200 crores.
Dr. Nasir Hussain, I can see the preparation.
So if you take up the discussion of the budget in the last year, same discussion was there.
Okay,
people thought it was all good. There are lots of promises, and this is the number.
So
of
the devil is in the details, Dr.
Suchitra.
Yes, you want to take that?
No, I just want to respond. I said, you know, when you make a budget at the beginning of the year, you make certain estimates. What happened was the tax revenues, because the government gave a lot on personal tax and gave a lot on GST, the tax revenues fell short by, as he said, 1,40,000, 1,50,000 crores. So either you keep on spending and your interest rates will go haywire, your inflation will go haywire because your fiscal, it'll respond to all the questions that he had raised. Your fiscal deficit gets out of control. So what you do is you also rationally look at all your expenses and say if those money is not being spent effectively, then you cut down on some of the expenses that you have to make, because at the end of the day, for India to grow, for inflation to be successful, for India to achieve Viksit Bharat, our fiscal deficit maths has to work. And I think to the credit of this government, right or wrong, I think that's one thing that they have done, that the macroeconomic discipline and the fiscal deficit maths has to. I don't want to get into a slanging match of it, but I was just taking,
more than 1 lakh crores that had to be gone to the states was cut by the center. Poorest, the states getting poorer, that had to be, that had to go
that
fund from
center
the
versus
center.
Center has given
The
1.8
concern-
lakh crores to the states for their capex. Without central long-term financial assistance, the states would have really been in difficulty.
Many
so
would
the
say-
They are
center
already in
has
difficulty.